welcome back to another episode of Should You Make It? I'm super excited because I have been waiting to do another episode of a Bake It. Today we are doing a Cooking with Karli review of a Twix cookie. Super excited. I saw it on Facebook. I posted it to my newsfeed and I got a lot of comments on it, and one was from my very best friend from junior high, long time ago, which was not gonna age his girlfriend. I won't do it, promise. So she's more like a sister to me. So, and she's pregnant with my second niece. Super excited. And she's been wanting to make these for a long time too. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna make these. And super secret, I'm gonna send you some when I'm done. Look for them. So anyway, I was really excited to do this review. First off the bat, I'm kind of skeptical because when I think of a Twix, I think of a shortbread, caramel, chocolate, and this is starting off with a sugar cookie base. So I'm kind of curious to see how that will play out and how that will work. But anyway, you're super excited to make these either way. So what we're gonna do, obviously, as usual, we're gonna jump over here and we're gonna get into the utensils and the ingredients, which will always be linked in the description box below, but you can follow along with me. So we will hop over here and we will get into it. Okay, so as far as utensils go, we will need a stand mixer, or you can also use a hand mixer. It'll just take a little longer, a little more muscle work. Get in there and get her done. Some spatulas. I have this one. You can use a bigger one. And also, you guys, you know my secret. My little doodad, mini me, he gets into all of the crevasses. I'm telling you, get one. You will need a cookie sheet. You will need a rolling pin. And we will get into that one a little bit too. You also need a cookie cutter, 2.5 inches. And as far as our ingredients go, okay, so you're gonna need 20 unwrapped caramels. We found these at Target, beautiful. And you'll need some chocolate chips. Her suggestion in this recipe is for milk chocolate. I'm assuming you could use dark or semi-sweet. It's probably up to you. We've got our butter, we've got our egg white, we've got some milk, some vanilla, sugar, flour, and baking powder, and my Pioneer Woman cooking board. Not for the recipe, just because it's fancy, bougie. So our cookie sheet. I happen to have a large Wilton one. This recipe calls for 24 cookies, so I figured, you know what, slap them on one, get her done one time, and done. So that's all of our ingredients, all of our utensils. We're gonna get set back up here at the stand mixer, and we're gonna cream our butter and our sugar, and that is our first step to making the cookie dough. And we'll be back. Okay, so in the stand mixer, I have my butter, which is at room temperature. It's very important to always have your butter at room temperature. And I have my sugar, and I always have my timer in here. And I always cream my butter and sugar at 5 minutes. For me, that seems to be the best creaming time for me personally when I know that it's light and creamy. So I'm going to hit my start button on my timer and get this creaming on a medium speed, and we'll be back. Okay, so before I add my egg white and my vanilla, I did want to mention one thing about my baby spatula. The little crevices on the mixer, it is really good to get into these little tiny areas where you can scoop. See, told you guys there was a reason. And when you're adding your ingredients, such as your egg white, and you need to scrape and get the rest of the egg white, it's good for that. See? And when we're adding our vanilla, and there's some left in there, and you need to get in there and get your business, you can get it. See? So we're going to give this a mix, and don't forget to stop your mixer while it's creaming and scrape down the sides of the bowl and your beater so it's well creamed. Okay, we're going to give this a mix and we will come back. Okay, so before I add my flour, my baking powder, I wanted to mention one thing about the batter. After I added the egg white and the vanilla, it curdled and it looked very odd. So I turned up my speed to high and I mixed it for probably in total about 5 minutes. And it came back to a thicker, more congealed consistency, kind of like back to butter-ish. So if yours does that too, if it curdles and it separates, don't worry. Stick it on a higher speed and mix it for, I'm suggesting 5 more minutes, and it'll come back together. So I'm going to go ahead and add the baking powder in my flour and mix that until it's very well combined, and then we'll come back when it is a dough. Okay, so I mixed in, you never want to over mix flour in bread dough, cookie batter, anything like that. So after I gave it probably about 5 whirls with the mixer, I always finish it by hand. And I do that because I want to fill it with my hand and make sure it's incorporated. And what she said is the batter is supposed to be the consistency of Play-Doh. And if it's not, you can add more flour or add water. What I got is this thick stuff. It's thick, but there's no way I'm going to be able to roll this out and punch out cookies with this. So I'm going to have to add more flour to mine. And she said you can add a teaspoon at a time until it reaches the Play-Doh consistency. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be back and I'll tell you guys exactly how much I've had to add. Okay, so we moved over to my little rolling station. I have my Wilton mat down here. I sprinkled some flour, and my husband cut me some 1/2 inch wood thick, and I have my rolling pin. I did have my spacers, however, this recipe called for 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and neither of the spacers equaled that, so we're not going to use those. That's why my husband custom cut these for me. I ended up having to add 2, 4, 6, 8 teaspoons to this batter. I am not going to go ahead and say that it's Play-Doh like consistency, but I'm going to see how this goes because I did not want to add any more because I'm at the risk of it just tasting like flour, and I'm not about that because then I'm going to have to add more vanilla flavoring, and then I'd have to add more flour because you add more liquid, you're going to have to add more dry. So I can't keep doing that all night. So I'm going to have to work with what I got here and see how it turns out. If I can roll it, if I can cut it. And so I have my rolling pin, I have my spacers. Like I said, these ones are 1/2 inch. I have my 2.5 inch cookie cutter. I have some more flour to the side here. I'm going to sprinkle on top of the batter because it's so sticky, as you can see. I am not excited about this dough. It's definitely not Play-Doh like consistency. I mean, it's not that sticky if you keep adding flour, but I'm just nervous. As soon as I add my rolling pin to it, I know it's going to stick to it, and bad. You're bad. Sit in the corner. So I'm going to flour my rolling pin, roll this out the best I can possible, get these cut out and on my cookie tray, and then we'll be back before we go into the oven. Okay guys, so for the last 20 minutes, I have rolled out the dough. I have floured it, and I even punched the cookies out, and I tried pulling them up with the spatula, and as soon as I touched a corner, it all just turned back into this. So that is going into the fridge for 30 minutes to chill. In my experience, when a dough is like this now, it is freezing cold in our house right now. It is very cold in Georgia right now. It is not warm. My hands are not warm. My hands are freezing. So it is not that it is hot in here or the heat from my hands. So the temperature is not a factor at all by any means. So I even tried using this to scoop them up, dipping it in flour and trying to scoop them up underneath, and they still went to goo. So I'm putting this in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, hoping, because normally putting it in the fridge with a dough like this will bring it together so you can properly roll it out. I'm praying that that will work. So I'm going to do that, and we will come back and I will let you know if that worked. Okay, guys. Heinz Skits and Velvet. Let me tell you. So, put the dough in the fridge for 30 minutes. Well, a little over 30 minutes. Try to re-roll it. Sticky, ooey, gooey, not Play-Doh consistency. I wanted to rip my hair out. God love my husband. Let me tell you about my husband. He is my recorder, cameraman, manager, you name it, he is that. So love my husband. It is now 9:33. Many hours into this. Did not work. Trashed the dough. Went onto Pinterest and I found a recipe for a shortbread cookie. Because like I said at the very beginning, I was wondering why it wasn't a shortbread cookie. So that's what I wanted to look for. I found a shortbread cookie recipe. For the sake of craziness, I'm going to leave the link and the recipe in the description box below for that. Super quick, you guys. Super quick recipe. I threw it all in the mixer. Bob's your uncle. Howdy do. We're good, okay? So, it is in the fridge because we're going to continue with the rest of the recipe for the Twix cookies because that's what we're essentially trying to make. So with that recipe, the cookies are in the fridge for 5 minutes to cool, and then we are going to melt our caramels, coo-doo-doos, whatever. I'm putting them in a plastic container in the microwave it, and then we're gonna melt those doodads, put them on top of the cookies. These ones I just pulled out. The first batch are in the fridge, like I said. But like I said, I mean, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, stunning shortbread, you guys. So please make this instead of the sugar cookie gooey nastiness, okay? So grab those out. We're gonna come over here with our melted caramel and then dress it up and make her look beautiful. Okay, good. Okay guys, so we had the caramels in the microwave for 1 minute and we took them out, stirred at the 30-second mark. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a spoon and we're going to put some in the middle, not covering entirely, but just enough to go a little bit out towards maybe like a ½ inch. What would you say that is, honey?
1/4 inch.
1/4 inch. Oh, okay. Sorry if my hand's in the way.
Well, it's the least amount of dried cookie as possible.
This is true. Maybe if I picked it up, that'd be easier for you guys. And the cookies are cold, so the caramel is gonna set pretty quick.
Now, you could probably even use a toothpick if you wanted to get really detailed.
Well, I really wanted to use a piping bag to get fancy with it. Fancy. Oh, look at, you got a swirly whirly gumdrop in the middle. Boink! So I'm going to continue with the rest of the cookies and the caramel. Pop these in the fridge for another 5 minutes until the caramel is completely come back, melt the chocolatate, put the chocolatate on the caramelly, and then, boop, cool beans, we're done. Okay, guys, so after a long day, we've got them down, guys. So these are the ones that have been in the fridge and they have set. So you can see how the chocolate is matte. So those ones have set, and these ones I just finished. So the obvious difference is that the chocolate hasn't set. So those ones will go in the fridge next. And I wish I could say my husband would taste it and tell you how yummy it is, but because these are going to my bestie, I have to package these up, and they are going to California. Because when your best friend / sister, love of your life, is pregnant with your second niece, you make her what she wants and you send them to her. So that's what I'm doing. But I'm sure they are heaven on earth, because the shortbread, I'm telling you guys, stick with the shortbread cookie recipe. Do not follow the sugar cookie dough. You will rip your hair out. So go with the shortbread. It will all be in the description box below. And speaking of, please, if you like the video, hit subscribe, that notification bell, so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. I want to get so much content out. Speaking of, again, I'm super excited to let you guys know that next week I have my very first virtual collab with, well, I'm going to keep that a secret. So you subscribe, notify, and you find out who, because she is, oh my god, amazing. So yes, do all those. Leave comments down below so you can let me know what you want me to make or bake and review, because as my husband says, you should view it before you do it. Huh. You patent that one. That's a good one. He's behind there looking at me weird. Anyway, I love that guy. Such a cute guy. One of these days he'll be on there for you guys. Maybe, maybe not. No? Okay. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching another episode of Should You Bake It. Stay tuned for next week's virtual collab. It's going to be amazing, you guys. I promise you. So, I hope you guys bake this with the upgraded shortbread recipe in the description. And maybe ship it to someone you love, because I think they would appreciate it. So, bestie, I hope you enjoy it when you get it, and share it with my niece. Both of them. And I love you guys. And from my kitchen to yours, mwah.